Hey guys, we're going to talk about the rental process right now and what we do from the computer standpoint. So at this point, we're already assuming we've gone through and qualified the customer, and we've asked them the questions that we need to ask in order to find out the right instrument for them. Now we're just ready to sit down in front of the computer, process the rental contract, fill out the right numbers on the rental contract that we need, and get it to them. All right. So we're just going to go from that standpoint. We're going to assume that you understand everything in Lightspeed. We're going to assume that you understand how rental contracts work. We're just going to go through that process real quick. All right, so what we've got is the person coming over to the desk, and what they need to do is you need to pull out a rental contract. They nothing. You need to pull out a rental contract out of the drawer, and you need to fill out brand, item, serial number, cash price. So band instruments only have the instrument. So if you're selling a trumpet, it's only going to have one line item right across there. If you have a guitar that you're selling with a case, you're going to have the guitar and the case written down here. If you have any sort of bowed instrument, you're going to have the instrument, the bow, and the case. Make sense? So that you're going to get that total amount. So let's say we start over here and we've got this tag that we're selling. So this is the inventory tag that you're seeing, and you've got the DR10 VN 3/4. It is a Dragon. So Dragon will be the brand. That's the first part of the description. And you can actually write that right here. So you got brand, so it would be Dragon, the DR. You can see this. You're going to write Dragon right across here. You're going to write the DR10 VN 3/4 right across here. You're going to write the serial number, which is this 030314-21. You're going to write that number in there, and the cash price is the $895. So then let's say we've got a bow and a case go along with this, and let's say each one of those is $100 a piece. So you've got the bow written and the cash price 100, the case written, the cash price 100. So the $895 plus 100, you're at $1095. Okay, so now what we have is a $1095 package that we're putting in here, and we need to write the numbers out for this. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come down here in Finder. You're going to come into the music store. You're going to say useful stuff. You're going to click on this amortization rentals right here. So this folder right here is what's going to get you the numbers you need for your rental contract. So you double click this, and it opens up this file here. And look at that, it's already done for us. So we're coming in, we're typing in 1095, you hit enter. Now, because a DR10 is a better quality instrument, it's going to be down here in the performance level, not the student level. Or the performance level, not the student level. If it was a student level, you put 4 here, but because it's a performance level, we're going to put 12 minimum payments. So all that information is right here for you. So you're going to hit 12 and hit tab. Now these are all the numbers you need for your rental contract. All right, so we're going to slide this up here, and let's grab our rental contract, and you're going to start writing in these numbers. So you're going to write, and you notice here how you've got the cash price, so that's $1095 is coming in right here. You've got box 1. So box 1 right here is going to be $39. Box 2, and if you read under here, it says on or before the 19th, write the first of the next month. So in other words, if it is the 19th of May, you're going to write June 1st because that's the next month. If it's the 1st of May, you're going to write June 1st because that's the next month. If it's the 20th of May, we don't have enough time to put the contract into the ARB system to get them payment coupons that they need and mailed out to them. So you're actually going to skip June and write July. So if it's May 20th, you're going to write July 1st and skip the next month. All right. And then, of course, of whatever year. So you're going to write, let's say today's the 19th. So you're going to write June 1 of whatever the year. Then in box 3, you're going to write the $40.94, which is monthly payment plus tax, which is $39 plus tax is $40.94. So you're going to write in $40.94. Box 4 right here is the 12 minimum payments for a total amount of minimum rent of $488.89. So that $488.89 is going to get written right there. Payments are due on the 1st. The box 7 then is the $31.91. Box 7 is where you're going to write $31.91. Total sales price of $1426.90, and the interest rate is at 15%. So these are 15% interest contracts. You're going to write 15% right there. Now, the trade credit and previous account, that is if you are doing a trade-in. So in other words, if they had a half-size student-level violin, and now they're stepping up into this 3/4 size Dragon, they're going to have money built up in a half size, and we need to apply that forward to this instrument. So that amount of money, which is on the management doc, we'll look at that later, will be written in right here. And the previous account will be the serial number and the model number of the instrument that it just came off of that half-size instrument. All right, but we're going to worry about that later. These two numbers do not affect these. This amount of money, this amount of trade credit becomes the last however much money that is on the account. So if it was $150 worth of trade credit, it would become the last $150 working toward this 140 toward this 1,426.90. Make sense? All right. So now what we have is we have the instrument, the bow, the case all written here, the total cash price, all of your numbers written on the contract. Now you're ready to present this to your customer. So you're going to lay this down in front of your customer, and you're going to go through this process just like this. I've done this several times. I've been through this process. Believe me, this is the easiest way to explain this to the customer. We don't want to give them more information than they need. We don't want to give them too little information, and we're asking them to just trust us. We want to give them just the right amount of information and allow them the opportunity to ask more questions if they need it. So here's how we go through this. The cursor is going to be my finger. I've turned this and presented it so the customer can read it, not me. And we're going to go through it this way. So Mr. or Mrs. Customer, your instrument is the DR, what do we say, DR10 3/4 size violin. Your serial number, cash price of the bow and case, total is $10.95. Now we have to remember, we have all of our numbers written in here now. Now your monthly payment, let's hold this down here so you can see what those numbers are, so you can see how I'm going through this. Your down payment today is $39. Your next payment is not going to be due on June 1st. It's the next month. Your monthly payment is going to be $40.94. There's 12 minimum payments on this contract to equal a total amount of minimum rent of $488.89. Payments are due on the 1st. You have a grace period to the 10th. I'm going to pause sidebar here. The hand motion. I'm pointing at the 1st. So payments are due on the 1st. You have a grace period to the 10th. I don't know why, but this hand motion is the difference between allowing them to make sense out of that and not. Every time I just point to it and say, payments are due on the 1st, grace period to the 10th. They don't get that. But as soon as I say the payments are due on the 1st, grace period to the 10th, and I add in this physical language, they understand that, oh, I've got this grace period inside of there. Okay, I don't know why, it just works. We're going to jump down here to box 7. Actually, I jump back over here to monthly payment. I say your monthly payment is the $40.94 at 15%. You're going to make 33.91 payments and purchase out at $1426.90. Now, the reason I do it in that order, from box 3, the monthly payment to the interest rate to the number of payments to this, is because it makes more sense in their head. And if I did it, just continued on, you're going to make 33.91 payments and purchase out at $1426.90 at 15%. Their brain just doesn't compute that. So you got to make it easy for them. Here it is again. Now, if you take this full term, the $40.94 at 15%, you're going to make 33.91 payments and purchase out at $1426.90. Does that make sense? And then stop talking. Wait for them. If they say, yes, great, move on. If they have questions, they'll ask them, you'll answer them, and we'll move on. Then what we do, once we've got all the numbers made sense, you're going to give them the contract, and you're going to say, I need you to fill this bottom portion out for me as completely as possible with you as a renter. If you're married, there's room for your spouse's information down here. So often what happens is you'll be working with, say, a mom who's a homemaker, and she downgrades herself for some reason and says, I'm just a mom, I'm going to put my husband's information on here. But if she puts her husband's information as the renter and then signs either her husband's name, which is forgery, or her name, it's not a good contract. So you would have to have them redo this contract. So that's why I say renter's name here, and if you're married, your spouse's information down there. Okay, and then we're going to pause here. We're going to chop this section out. We're going to move on.
They just have questions on capos for their guitar.
I will be with them in 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Caitlin, this is where you're going to cut in. All right, so we've got this information explained here, and we've got this information explained here. They understand that they are the renter, their spouse's information is down there. They got this. And then you're going to ask them to say, and then date and sign down here at the bottom for me. And they're going to go to work filling all this stuff out. Now, while they're filling that out, you have work to do as well. You're going to come over here into Lightspeed, and you're going to start a new invoice. And we don't know what let's say they're a brand new customer. We don't know what their name is yet. We're going to leave this blank. We're going to come down here, and we're going to enter in 7412. And again, I'm assuming you understand what the rental codes are at this point. So the 7412 is the orchestra. Now, you notice how we have the bow and case? All you have to do is select this one, double tap on it, and give it some time, because it's going to take just a minute to think, because it's adding several other products. And we've got all these information, all this stuff in here. Notice here we've got maintenance agreements and maintenance declined or stopped. which means you're going to leave one of these on here and delete the other one. You also have auto pay accepted, auto pay declined. I expect you to leave one on and delete the other, whatever their decision is, right? But let's start here. Because at this point in the process, as they're filling out the rental contract, you know this information. You're going to come in and click in here. So it says orchestra rental, instrument, and serial number. We need to give it what these are. So if you click in here and then simply use the barcode scanner and scan this long barcode here, DR10 VN3/4 will appear in your invoice right there. Okay? And then if you click over here in serial number and scan this serial number barcode, that serial number will appear right there for you. Easy squeezy lemon cheesy, right? Now, $35. This is the next thing that's on your invoice, but that may not be correct because you've got this still pulled up. And what you want to see is this. So here's all your numbers, and right over here is Lightspeed ERP. So this is Lightspeed, the initial rental payment is this, and we need to change this number because you notice right here it says 35, but that's with sales tax, that's going to add in. So let's just show you how this works. I'm going to zero these out real quick just so you can see all this. So you'll notice what we have is we just have the $35 as a subtotal, and that's adding in $2.22, which is equaling $37.22. But we need it to equal 39. Now, if I came in here and typed in 39, it would jump us up to $41.48. That's not what we want. On the contract, it says your down payment is $39, period. That includes tax. So we need to take tax out of that. That's why in Lightspeed, you need to enter this number. You need to enter in $36.67. And that equals the $39 on your contract. That's what this box is here for on the amortization sheet. Okay, so enter that number. And then you also know your BO. So let's say it was a BL10, I can type BL10 full size. And let's say you know your case because you're going with it. So let's say it's a CA450 case, or I still can't type CA450 case. Now we know exactly what the BO in the case was with that package, okay? Now, we don't know the answers to these yet because they don't have the contract done. We don't know the answers to these yet because they don't have the contract done. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down and open up a web browser. And you're going to come over here into Experian because you're going to have to run their credit here in just a second. And this comes in and says, please sign in. The keychain should automatically put this in for you. And you're going to click on Products and come over here to Credit Profile. Meanwhile, customer's still filling out the rental contract. On this thing here, you're going to have to click this down bar and choose the very first one that says St. George, Utah. And then you need things that are in red dots. So you definitely need first, last name, street, and zip code. Now, I actually usually ask for more. So let's say I'm the one you're going to write in my information. So at this point, customers finished the contract. They've given you the contract back. You have verified information. So they give you the contract back. And right down here, you have looked at driver's license number, and you've looked at their driver's license. You've looked at the picture on the driver's license. You've looked at their face, make sure it looks the same. There are thieves out there. They will try to steal from you. Driver's license number, state, the name matches. And at that point, you say, yep, this is the right person. You've made sure that social security number makes sense, cell phones, all the numbers there, that the email address makes sense, that the address makes sense. Billing address and physical address. What's the difference? Billing address is a P.O. box. Physical address is the place that UPS is actually going to show up, or that you and I can go drive to their house and repossess the instrument if they choose not to pay us. So we've got those figured in, and at that point, you can sign off on the ID check buy. Okay? At this point, we are ready to go to Experian, and let's say I'm the one that's renting. I would type in Steve, tab down. I'm just hitting tab. I don't need to click. France, I would enter in the social security number, the 508-987-144. Yeah, that's my social. And some people are freaked out about giving socials. Please, I could give you all this information without the social, but we still ask for it because it makes it cheaper for us. And that's why I ask for the social security number. It's because it makes running these reports cheaper. Come over here then into address, and I would put in the 929 West Sunset Boulevard, St. George. I know it doesn't ask for it, but I find that it works better. 84770. And the next thing I ask for is phone number. The reason being is Oftentimes there's like 6 Joe Smiths, right? And the cell phone number will help clarify which one that is. And so in here, there's a drop-down menu for residential, cellular, business fax. What is it? Typically, it's a cell number. At this point, I can scroll all the way to the bottom, ignore everything else, and hit the submit button. What that's going to do is it's going to bring up a report, and you're going to make your decision based off of the current credit criteria. There's another video that talks about the credit criteria and where that's at. So once you get back and the credit criteria has been approved, great, you're going to come over here back into the invoice, and now you're going to enter that person's information in this. So let's say it's a brand new customer, you're going to click on the plus, open the customer code, and let's say this is Sally Smith. We use capitalization around here. Their cell phone number, you're going to click on that bubble, keep tabbing down. Whatever her email address is. I can't type still today. The address, let's say they had a P.O. box. Sure. But the physical address was and again, we use capitalization. And then I would come over here into options. I would say that this is a rental customer. I would tell you what instrument this was. So this was a violin that they're renting right now. And whether and on the contract, they're going to have, at this point, have marked whether they accepted maintenance, yes or no. And so in their customer card, you can say maintenance. And then right here, you know what the monthly payment is. So the monthly payment is listed right here in box 3. You can list out their monthly payments of, what did I say it was? $40.94. $40.94, comma, orchestra. So we know that this is an orchestra payment. We use this when we're creating invoices for people later. So $40.94 orchestra, and then this would be $671 for maintenance on it then as well. So we know what the numbers are on the incoming invoice. Then we would click save, and that would put this person back in. It says, would you like to reload it? Yes, we would. It reloads Sally Smith into this. Now, on the rental contract, you know whether they have accepted or declined maintenance agreement. So they've accepted maintenance. I'm going to delete declined. They've accepted auto pay, so I'm going to delete the decline. And they want the music stand, and that we can sell to them at the discounted price. The green arrows here means we've got the discounted price in there somewhere at the MAP price. And you're ready to take their money. And if you can go through that workflow process with them, this is the best way. So watch this video again, memorize the steps. We've qualified the customer. We pull the rental contract out. We grab this sheet. We pull the rental contract out, and we write in all of the information, instrument, case, bow, and we get our total cash price. And we open this sheet, and we write our cash price and the number of minimum payments, and it gives us all the rest of the numbers. We write those numbers down here in boxes 1 through 9. We present the information to them and explain this all out. Ask them to sign this if they're for them and their spouse's information down here. While they're doing that, we open a web browser and come to Experian and get ready to put this information in. We open Lightspeed and create an invoice that gets the start of the information. We've entered instrument and serial number and the bow and case information that we already know. So all that is prepped and ready to go by the time they finish filling out the rental contract. Once they fill out the rental contract, you verify it. You come in here, you finish filling out all of this information, you push submit, it gives you the credit report, you make your decision, you come back here, you click on this button to create the customer card, and you fill out the options for them, you save it, it will ask to reload it, yes, you reload it into this, you delete out your nons that you on maintenance or on the auto pay. If they want the music stand, great. If they don't want the music stand, great, just delete it. Save it, take their money, send them home. It's that easy.